Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This will be the deck list we are playing today, being Temur Creativity. If you enjoy the channel and you like to comment and you want to support me, please be sure to subscribe. Other than that, we're just going to go ahead and hop right into the video. Okay, our opponent goes first. They're playing Yorion, which a lot of times tells their Fires of Invention, which means they won't generally have a whole lot of just straight up interaction other than maybe a grab cycle, if that's what we're against. Or we will be throwing this hand back because we have Xenagos in it. Can't really afford to have that. The Great Spine Worm, we can discard it, play around things with that, but it's also just much better here. I have to get rid of Spike Field so Impulse can pick up maybe like a Fable token. There's land. And here's a Steam Vents. Play Pathway on the red side. Yep. So this tells us this fires for sure. Oh, we'll get the other Steam Vents down tapped while we can. Land Fable. Also, this turns everything on, so Leyline Binding's available, which will be quite a nuisance. We might have to get our Nominal Creativity to target 3 things instead of just 1. Or are they just going to keep doing that? A little hard for us to interact with for sure, but get our Fable down, we'll make our token. We'll probably end up losing the token here in the process. Archon's the Sun's Grace. Okay. We can discard up to 2 cards. This is a way to remove this, and we're definitely going to want to get it removed. I'll get rid of Fable and Impulse. You know, argue to keep Fable around, but in this spot, I'm not going to. Do we care too much about this? I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe they'll see it as kind of an issue and look to send it back. Also, I want to clear the way for our thing to attack. We'll bend one of these. I don't think we're going to interact with this all too much. We'll get it out of the way. Now we'll attack. Now we have our targets if they don't do anything next turn. If they tap out, that'd be fantastic. If they don't tap out, I'll feel bad. Only throw 1 card back. Why is that? I have the ability to target 2 things, but not the ability to do anything else, right? I can 1-2 target, and then I can use negate, but we'll just go to combat. It screams Leyline Binding to me. And even if we get to a situation where they untap, wipe the board, play something, we can make a Mirix token. Play land, play creativity on our treasures, and then we have a negate. I guess I could have made a token then, but again, I'd rather make it on end step. Play things like Deafening Clarion here. 1 mana available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. And I think we just let it go. I don't know if it really matters. We just don't want them to be able to do anything immediately. We'll make a Mirix token. I think we have a hesitation there for what we think it is. 1, 2. Okay. Here and here. Yes, because then we'll have the Stormcarved Coast and a treasure. We negate whatever, a Leyline Binding or something here. We get the worm, we get Xenagos. We get to move to combat. And here comes our negate. Alright. And we get there. It's a tough matchup for sure, because there's a lot of times that they're able to just have 2 leyline bindings in their hand and just not do anything. So we had to take an extra turn off there to wait to kind of get our instant win the game button through. Man, I love the worm. Love him so much. Look at this first, and I have a ton of removal and some extra lands, so we'll keep this. We have digs with this and a dig with a Fable. Thoughtseize? Have less. I can definitely see them prioritizing Fable here, and they do, even though Fable's far away. And because of the fact they have Thoughtseize, if they get to the point that we're missing lands, we're going to want to play the Spikefield Hazard down now, so they can't Thoughtseize it out or duress it out or something. I'm going to cry. Isn't what I want to play against. Just straight up discard. It gets a 1/1 until end of turn, so it does really nothing in play right now. We have the red mana, so we'll play this on the blue side. They know about this land. They know about Stevens too, but I don't really want to shock it if I don't have to. Phyrexian Arena, this is a good way for them to draw cards. We'll be casting an Impulse. I guess we take Sokazon so we can make the tokens. Yeah, okay. I guess Sokazon ×2. I'm gonna just go ahead and slam this as well so we have both these spells available. Don't stop, go away. A lot of cards, so just straight up discard won't be enough, I think. Come in here. Another hit. Don't really want to loot if I don't have to here. Big score is incredible here. I think our try to do is make it a little bit hard to interact with. And we have Sokazons to make more tokens if needed. This is a castle -5. It is. A little weird to see that here whenever they have like an arena and stuff digging pretty hard for them. Well, maybe they know what I'm playing against and they know they're in danger of getting one-shotted anyway. Legitimate concern. So wait till end step. We don't want to try to get Thoughtseize here. Obliterator's pretty bad. Blue. Fatal Push is not an option. We'll do this. We'll let Sokazon go. We have Odawara to bounce the Obliterator, I guess. And just reset them for a turn. Continue to make land drops. And we will pass. Take another damage. We don't really care about Shieldred too much. Much as like Obliterator can kind of be a problem. Oh, okay. I guess there's a Nykthos. Which now we definitely have to bounce this. We won't have the mana to replay it here and activate Nykthos. I think we really made it to combat there. They could have activated Nykthos, made this thing huge. Alright, Obliterator comes back down. They accidentally tapped a shrine for mana. Because it wanted to leave up castle. This is 8 mana they'd have been able to use. Me hook for 0. Sure. Alright, creativity. Thoughts? It should be illegal. It should just be illegal. Play. 2. Sometimes it giveth, sometimes it taketh. I don't know what they would have for 1 black that can stop it, but it could be something, I suppose. I will have to sacrifice 30 permanents, however. It would be kind of funny to see the Obliterator trigger go in a stack for like, hey, I need you to sacrifice 30 permanents. But, hey, sometimes got top deck well to win, especially in best of 1. Against a Yorion, he's always screaming enchantment decks to me, so I'm gonna keep. I have time, I think, but it could be like sometimes there's been human decks that have been like 8 million cards for some reason. I mean, it's 80, but I'm going to get rid of a creativity. I can say that much if I get to it. There's a Fable. And I'm gonna slam this. If this is a counter spell, like, I'm cool to lose to a lot of things. I'm not really cool to get counter spelled against my Fires of Invention deck potentially. One top, one bottom, so they draw that one, then they draw an additional card. Does it say scry 2, then draw a card? Ulthakaya. What a thug. I love Ulthakaya. That card makes me so happy. It makes me unreasonably happy. I don't know if it'll matter. They have Leyline Binding mana, but if they mess around and tap out, then we're perfectly fine. Or if they just tap their white source. Like this. We lose our enchantment. It just, man, it just feels so dirty sometimes. I think we have to find a land though, right? Pass. Do this. We let creativity go. Oh, we also need to not draw one of the pieces, I guess. That's a fair assessment. This. 1, 2. Do this. My opponent submitted a cooler deck than me. That's literally a genuine thing. I love Oathakaya. I love Knight of Autumn. They're submitting like a really cool, super cool value deck. I just happen to be playing a deck if you tap out against, you can just find yourself dead. So, unfortunate, but it is what it is. Go first here. We actually have a Spell Pierce, which is a little interesting. Normally we don't want Spell Pierce too often. We'll lead off with Nodawara, just in case they try to Thoughtseize it. Make our hand a little bit more deceiving. Unknown, unmatched. Although Fables do pretty good jobs at that in their own. Red. I wish I could spell pierce that. Well, we have a worm that we're gonna have to get rid of, so that's a little unfortunate. But we will play the Spikefield Hazard on the backside. Normally, it doesn't have the toughness to kind of push through this matchup. I also bolted this in. I want a one-lander. I'm gonna get away with just spell piercing. This feels fantastic if they're on a one-lander, which I think they are. Maybe they're not. Just bolting this in on turn 1 seems kind of wild. Oh, well, that enters tap. That would make a lot of sense. I apologize, opponent. We're gonna play this. Make it a little bit harder for them to just attack me first, because they have to attack first, and then I have blocking options. Unlucky Witness, another common red card that gets played. We lose this, they're going to be able to attack, but we don't have to worry about Skewer the Critics or Light Up the Stage now. This feels pretty good. We're going to let this go. I'm going to hold back on the Spell Pierce. I'm going to let this island fly out of my hand as well. Corresponding Worm going back in the deck. We find ourselves, we can play land and play second Fable and hold up a Spell Pierce. I kind of like that plan. Thought about playing the Spirebuff Canal, holding up the Spite instead, but I think getting the value from the Fable to try to find maybe a big score or something along those lines is a little bit better for us. And then here in this spot, like, go ahead and get the Spikefield Hazard removed. Give ourselves chances here with this. They already played a land, right? I think I just take this damage. I don't think I give them the card advantage. They're down to 1 card. You miss. I don't want to get rid of the Spite. And even just putting in a giant worm is good enough if I hit a thing here. Memory Deluge. Which means I have to attack this to get it active. We also have a Make Disappear, which is fine. We have a Spite to pick up something along this way as well if they get too out of hand with their next coming turn. Then we have copies and attacks. They just go ahead and give it up. Maybe they flooded there. Maybe drew extra lands after we thought they wouldn't have any. Kind of a little I have a little bit of a weird concede, but these Fables are going to start flipping. If they don't have removal, I have 5 mana available, so a little bit tough, but you know, what you gonna do? One goes first. Our hand's like fine. We have an impulse to catch us back up and make disappear to maybe stagger something on their turn 3, maybe like a Fable, and then we have a Fable of our own to follow in after. So I like this hand. It's mono white. We're in danger. I never really know what to do in this spot. It's like, do I just get this now, or do I have to? Should I wait for the Thalia? But Thalia's Lieutenant is pretty good. Yeah, so we'll pick this up now. It didn't get a counter. It doesn't really matter too much. At one specific counter, we need to make sure we have a blue land available. So we'll just play the Chivalry. Draw out this Make Disappear for. Ooh. Star feels pretty good to pick up with the Make Disappear. Don't have to worry about picking up later. Down to 3 cards, and we're going to get to play a Fable, the Mirror Breaker. And they just played out a Brutal Cathar, but that really means one of 2 things. That means they either have a backup one, so they felt comfortable enough to just go ahead and get that one down, or they don't really have a whole lot going on, and they wanted to play the Brutal Cathar and let it potentially get countered over maybe like an Adeline or something. A lot of mixing and matching. All right, there's a knight. They get to dig 1 card and they find one. That's not the best card in the entire world, so we'll get rid of this negate. We'll get rid of one of these lands. We have the 2 lands we need. Spell Pierce, not as prevalent, maybe not even near really as good. Let me go ahead and impulse here. Get it out of the way, see what's up with that. I could spite, I could play another Fable maybe. Yeah, I could attack, make the treasure, play a Fable, make a token. What's the plan I need to do? Just play land, and then that will flip in time? I mean, I guess so. Yeah, so I'll grab a spite just in case, I guess. Dock, and then no attack and just wait. I can play land and I can make this and this, I think, as long as they don't play a Brutal Cathar. Lieutenant's coming in, getting a little bit bigger. I'll use Lieutenant, going to make everything bigger. Well, they have awareness of what we're playing. They have enough to block it all, technically. They come in for the attack. No blocks. Need this token to one-shot him. Let's see if they have any pause whatsoever. We'll try to remove this. No pause. We'll just bottom the Spell Pierce. I should not be drawing cards. What am I doing? So getting a little too loose with it. You don't want to draw any extra cards in that specific spot if you don't have to, because there's no point. The only thing you're putting yourself at risk of doing is accidentally drawing one of your combo pieces when it's just completely unnecessary to do so. I know the chances of hitting it are very minute because you only play 1 of each, but there's still a minimum 1 in 30 chance. Or yeah, maximum 1 in 30. But because I know there's 1 of each, so like theory it's like 1 plus whatever, but you don't want to draw either of them, so it's kind of like 1 and whatever. But yeah, so sweet. Okay, time to do our little talk about the deck and how we feel about it, and I feel that it is still really, really strong. It's a little annoying to play the mirrors because it's kind of like who goes first, who may have the Spell Pierce, who doesn't have a Spell Pierce, or whatever. So it's a little annoying to play the mirror. It definitely can be quite frustrating as well to play the mirror. But whenever you're not playing the mirror, the deck's super fun and enjoyable to play. So our matches today, we played a Enchantress pile, mono black, Enchantress, mono red, mono white. We ended up going on a 6-0 spree, which has been very nice because I was trying to record yesterday and it was going horrible. I think I was plat 1 or something and then found myself at like plat 4. Did not go well. I was just play testing a lot of random stuff, but yeah, we went 6-0 with this. Overall, I am now 20 and 12 with the deck, especially with like a really hot streak. We also, when I first started playing the deck, I also went on a very hot streak. I've had some mediocre kind of matches in between there, some mirrors and stuff that whatever. Then mono blue, which is a pretty good matchup against us at times, with a 73% win rate on the play and a 54% on the draw. Now, have I punted a game or two? Probably. So a better player might have slightly better results than me. But we can talk about it here. We changed a couple things, very minute things. We cut to 1 of Shark Typhoon to play a Spell Pierce. And then we trimmed a land. What land was it? We had a second Shivan Reef, and we trimmed it down to play 2 Sokazons to constantly have like an uncounterable way to make tokens. So that's kind of like the little things. Shark Typhoon wasn't that solid. We rather have more instances of playing a Spell Pierce, especially when we find ourselves in those mirrors. Also, Spell Piercing, like a big score or something, is really nice. Other than that, let's talk about it. Our counter package is the Spell Pierce. Make this Pierce and negate. Depending on some of the matchups, you can argue that like maybe our spot removal can help counter certain things, especially in terms of like somebody trying to creativity out their stuff or like whatnot. But these are soft, and then you have a negate, which isn't that great a lot of times. That's why we play as a 1 of, but when it's really good, it is really good, and it helps us get through. Like, for example, we end up picking up a Leyline Binding with it. Even if they had demanded to pay for it, negate won't allow that. And our removal package, which is our main package in the deck, we have 4 Fiery Impulse, 3 Spike Field Hazard, and Volcanic Spite. And the main reason we play this is so we can put a card from our hand onto the bottom and draw a card. But realistically, we want it in our deck so we can put Xenagos on the bottom if it finds its way in our hand, or a World Spine Worm. And we know what's really nice is when we put them on the bottom of our deck, we know unless we get to the bottom of our deck that we're never going to draw that one piece again. So if we find that Xenagos is in the lower half of our deck and we put a World Spine Worm on the bottom, we're pretty safe to draw pretty comfortably. Or if maybe we saw it with the Memory Deluge earlier or something like that, or if we've spited them both to the bottom, we know they're in, at least minimum probably in our bottom 10. Other than that, we have the 4 Impulses just to help find our pieces, along with Fable. Fable's also a nice value card. It makes all the tokens you really kind of need for a creativity. And then we have Big Score. Big Score being one of the in-step main pieces. Can sometimes hinder you against control decks. You kind of have to fire it off, but be able to recover, because if they counter this, you lose 2 cards to 1 counterspell. And that's what control thrives off of. Then we have our main piece, Creativity. If you're first time seeing this after maybe seeing the deck, destroy X, artifacts, or creatures. You can actually target your opponent's stuff as well. Make sure you know that. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals top cards of your library until the artifact or creature card reveals this way. And you put it out on the battlefield. And the reason it's important to know that it can target your opponent's stuff is if they play something that hinders you from doing what you're trying to do. For example, Containment Priest is like a white card that I can think of. If it enters the battlefield and it wasn't cast, it exiles it. Therefore, Creativity can target that. And our creatures, Containment Priest will be gone when it's finished resolving, unless they flip another one. Then, you know, they enter at the same time. Doesn't see it entering. Does not exile it, I don't think. I could be wrong about that. You could correct me in the comments if you'd like to. Other than that, we finished the deck off with 1 Memory Deluge. You could, if you don't like 1-ofs, even though Memory Deluge is a very nice 1-of, it's kind of like a 2-of as you play it early and maybe get it countered, play it later. This also drags out counter spells a lot more than it probably should, but it's reasonable to drag out a counter spell against it if you're able to get it. Other than that, our important land pieces are the Myrics for a 3-of, the Odawara as a 1-of, and the Sokazon as a 2-of, finding a nice, comfortable spot in this deck. And I enjoy the deck. I love I win the game button decks. This deck fits me very well in terms of the playstyle I like to play. Kind of like, also kind of just sick of the Rakdos are black, just grindy decks, like playing a lot of mid-range matches all the time. So, I'm not, but now that I coughed, I lost my train of thought. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. It's a little bit shorter of a video. All of our matches also went like very fast, so that doesn't really help too much. But hope to see you all around, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you around in the next one. Thanks for watching.